What's going on, people? Welcome to Man Knows Football. You're here with myself, Guni, and you're here with Man City Daps. First time he's ever appeared on the channel from Never a Foul Media. And you have seen me over there. I've done some work with Cass, done some work with Months. Good lads over there. And finally, I'm able to get you on, man. How you doing, my bro?
I'm good, bro. Good. Yeah, on our channel earlier. You've been on a few times with Cass, and I've been waiting for the call up. So obviously, had to get my fitness up and whatever. But I'm here, innit? Here. And you know what? And we've got you twice in a week. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were supposed to do this earlier, but obviously, as my subscribers know, which is probably why my live numbers are so shit right now, because I'm not really favored in the algorithm. I've been
I hear it.
I've been off with the whole COVID thing, and I wasn't too well, so I wasn't really making content consistently. But slowly, I'm getting back into it. I'm not even watching the numbers anyway, but we do this first and foremost because
the algorithms don't play.
Yeah.
We had. I tell you what, we had a. In fact, before Cass had been involved as like a panel member in that, but back from like for a year we had. So we started Never a Foul off. We had a year off, right, until June. So until June, I was just doing my own thing, going on everyone else's channel, but not doing anything on my own. Then from June, we said, boom, 1 or 2 videos a day. Bro, the algorithm stank so much, if you can imagine. Like literally, it started off having to do shows like 10 people watching and that. But
I mean, but I'm not overly worried about that. Eventually, through time and consistency, that'll just get better. But do you know what? This is the first time I've ever had a Man City fan on the channel, you know. So congratulations on being that guy. Officially, we've got a Man City fan on that on the channel, and we're gonna do things a little differently because everyone always wants to talk about Chelsea first, because the majority of my subscribers are obviously Chelsea fans, because that's the most I talk about Chelsea on this channel. But Man City, so far this season, you are sitting second in the Premier League behind Arsenal, which is, trust me, it's horrible for me to hear this as a Chelsea fan, anyone but Arsenal at this situation, because you lot know, their fan base is on the next level, bruv. Yeah, and
you know what? When was it? Saturday. I was at the game Saturday and New Year's Eve, and I do a show on Matisse's channel called Battle of the North with Hassan.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'd agreed we'd do it on New Year's Eve, but it was like just before the game. So I got back to my hotel, and Matisse was like, right, everyone shirts and ties. This is a crisis meeting. Like, we're not talking about, this is no longer Battle of the North. We're talking about how the fuck we stop Arsenal, because this is getting beyond a joke now. This is not funny anymore, yeah? And the thing is, that's how I've been seeing it a bit as well until now. Now, firstly, we have not been good this season, right? And it's been frustrating, even from the start of the season, when everyone's been saying, City are walking away with this league. They're going to win this league with ease. And repeatedly, I've been on shows saying, like, are you lot not seeing the table? Are you lot not seeing, like, the way we're playing? Like, you need to stop doing it, because what everyone is doing is you're creating this thing so that if we don't win the league, everyone can just come at Pep and blame. Like, it's not as easy as you buy a striker and you change from a false 9.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you. And I was one of the people. Now, let me be clear, right? I wanted Haaland, and I'm happy we got Haaland. However, I was one of the people that had my worries about, if you've got this system playing the false 9 that's working so well, why are we changing it, right? And one of my biggest concerns was in certain games, if we have to say, do you know what, Haaland, superstar, we're playing Liverpool, and we need to control the midfield, which means we might have to play the false 9. So you might have to hold bench. I don't want to see no one kicking off and throwing toys out the pram. That was one of my concerns and causing issues amongst. Now, none of that has happened from early doors. We've seen that Haaland is, he's very respectful of his manager. But what we have seen is that Pep has changed the way we play to suit having a number 9. So now, because we have a number 9, we still need, in Pep's eyes, because of Pep ball, we still need to maintain control in the midfield. So therefore, what we're going to do is we're going to invert at least one of our fullbacks into a midfielder. And that is ultimately where we are right now. That is, there's people that will blame Grealish. There's people that will blame Mahrez. There's people like me that is of the opinion that it isn't whoever's playing on the wing, it's ultimately the balance behind them. Like if you have Mahrez and you have a centre-back, right, that's not going to work, right? If you have Grealish and you have Ake behind him, that's not going to work because Grealish draws people out and then pops the ball back to someone to whip it in the box. Well, Ake ain't whipping no balls in the box, right? But all of this is ultimately, and I'm not blaming Pep, let me be clear. Again, I'm all week since the Everton game, I'm arguing with City fans that are trying to single out the manager, single out players, single out anyone, because for me, we've been too spoiled by this squad and this manager to ever name call any of them, right? We can be critical, but this name calling, we need to get rid of them or we're not winning the Champions League. I hate it, right? But there are things we need to talk about. And ultimately, we are where we are right now because we bought Haaland. I do get it. But we have the best manager, in my opinion, to keep tinkering and get it right. And by the end of the season.
I mean, so do you think it's more of a case of the midfield? Because in terms of balance, you've got Rodri, who's supposed to be the one that sort of sits and is sort of like that anchor of the midfield. And then it's obviously Kevin De Bruyne. And then who's your third option? Either Bernardo Silva
or Bernardo.
Yeah. So to me, the balance is there. But is it a case of
Pep wants more?
What is it that you feel is lacking from them? Because I don't watch them on a weekly basis. Right, what I mainly watch is match of the day highlights from them. So I don't really watch as much.
Do you know what it is? It's at the moment, I think, like he's been doing it from the start of the season. He's constantly tinkering, right?
Okay.
He's trying to get it right. And yeah, there are other reasons, to be fair. Like at the moment, Cancelo's just returned from the World Cup. Walker's been out injured. Start of the season, Mahrez has looked really bad on the right. Mahrez has taken a lot of smoke. But for me, what's actually happened is the fact that Walker hasn't been playing. Therefore, he's been playing John Stones or Akanji, right? Who aren't right backs, they're centre backs, yeah. So the minute Rico Lewis has started playing down the right, Mahrez has started looking better because now he's got a right back. Then on the left, you've got Cancelo when Cancelo plays. When Cancelo plays, you can play Grealish wide right and it works. But if Cancelo doesn't play, in my opinion, you can't play Grealish as your winger because if you're playing Ake and Grealish, there's no delivery into the box there. There's none, right? Yeah. Because what Grealish does is draw players out and then cuts in looking for the pass to someone like Bernardo, someone like Cancelo, someone like Rodri. And it just isn't quite working because then we've got Haaland in the box. Steve said it earlier on. He summed it up perfectly. He said, no one's looking to put the ball in the box. And we've got Haaland in there, who, if you put the ball into the box, will get to at least 6 out of 10 of those. And he made another good point. Imagine Haaland if Haaland was at Liverpool. The amount Núñez is missing, bro. Imagine if that was Haaland. The number, because we're looking at 21 goals in I think 15 Premier League games. If he was at Liverpool, bro, he'd be on close to 30, 35 goals. Like it's and that's not a joke. If you look at what Núñez has missed, he'd eat every single one of them.
I don't disagree with you on that one, you know. But my thing is with City is that it's your manager, Pep. It's quite rightly, like you said, you can never write him off. And just to have that extra quality off the pitch, it helps sometimes. And sometimes it even helps you see titles over the line. And I think he's more than capable of doing so now.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're spot on. This is the thing that right now. Right. So it's so deep that nothing is ever. And this is the thing as a content creator for me, right? Yeah. There's like, at the moment, there's this thing where some are trying to make it Foden or Grealish, and it has to be black or white. Are you Foden or are you Grealish? And it's like, well, no, for me, if it's playing on the wing, I'm picking Foden over Grealish all day, every day. Mm-hmm. But remember when we played you in the Carabao Cup? and Grealish was playing a lot more centrally and deeper, right? I keep saying it, and there's some that say Grealish was bought.
I thought we had a good performance that day. Or am I thinking?
Yeah, he did. He did.
That's the game.
He played a lot deeper and he played centrally because when we bought him, some said he was being brought in as a Bernardo Silva replacement because Bernardo's been talking about wanting to leave for a while. For me, the best part of Grealish's game is picking up the ball, running with it, drawing players in, and whether it be drawing a foul or drawing players in and then popping a ball off to someone else. Now, if I compare that, I don't watch American football, but it's a bit like American football when you're trying to make yards up, right? Now, your 8 at times has to make yards up, yeah? They have to advance the ball up the pitch. That's something that I think Grealish could be very, very good at. Now, if I look at and ball retention, again, an 8, all you want from an 8 is ball retention.
It's a fact. He has got all of those characteristics, like the most fouled player in the league, which means he's got excellent ball retention. He knows how to use his body to shield the ball and all that. Do you know what I mean? He's good on the dribble as well. He's got the traits to do so. He definitely does.
For me, more than he has. And then you look at, all right, if we switch to playing Grealish on the wing, right? Grealish has never been a great crosser of the ball, right? Grealish ultimately at Villa, you can't compare him playing as a winger at Villa and playing as a winger at City. At Villa, he's playing against teams that don't play with a low block and he has all the space to run into, right? You come to City, I've even had this where people are saying, I think we need a winger with pace. It's like, you need to be more precise with that because there's no point having pace if there's no space to run into. I feel what City need and what Sterling was so good at was pace in short areas, little 1-2s. That's what he was.
But then you also had the players around that were able to play those 1-2
David Silva,
even to an extent. Well, not even to an extent, Bernardo Silva as well. He's
he's good at that
as well. So he had that, which is what he's massively lacking at Chelsea. It's just that,
100%, bro, 100% you are. And with then we can say, did Pep ever want Haaland? We don't know. By the looks of it, Pep seems very happy with him. But ultimately,
did Pep even want Grealish, or was that a board signing?
Oh, that's a techie one. See, I when we bought him, I said I'm not mad at it. I'm not going to be mad at us signing any player like that, but I said at the time, it does feel to me a little bit like the first commercial deal that we have done. And then it's like, again, the whole content creator thing. Oh, you're anti-Grealish. It's like, I'm not anti-Grealish. I'm just pointing out my opinion is like, I think, you don't support City. Well, I do. I've supported City my whole fucking life, right? But I do think with it looked a little bit kind of commercially, and I worried about it a little bit. I do think that Pep, they would have had a conversation with Pep, and I do think Pep would have said, yeah, he's a good footballer. I'll be able to work with him. But I wouldn't say if they asked Pep, what 100 players do you want? Grealish would have been top of his list. I don't. But these are the players that our club has for whatever reason, yeah? And right now, what Pep is having to do is work out how we are the most successful team with these players, right? Now, that is taking him a bit of time. I go back to what I said is right now, we're not where we want to be. We're second. But we've been second before in January. It's not a problem. And do I think Pep is the right manager that if he keeps tinkering, he will work this out? And do I think he can do it in time to win us the league? Yes, I still do believe that because I do believe Arsenal still have mistakes in them.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to agree there. But just going back to that Jack Grealish point, the reason why I brought that up is because I've said several times, I said last season, I believe I said it on Back Again and Troops didn't agree. I asked the question, I said, look, with Jack Grealish's strengths, which is, keeping possession, drawing fouls, and, dribbling and running into the box or whatever, do you know what I mean? It doesn't really suit what Pep sort of goes for.
No.
Which is why I kind of was like, why is he going to Man City? Is it more of a commercial side of it or whatever? But, you're the first person that's actually agreed with it, funny enough, and you're a Man City fan. So
you have to be careful what you agree with. You get labelled all sorts.
Yeah, exactly. But we're just being honest. You just got we
fully,
identify what we see with our own two eyes. But obviously tomorrow we've got the big game. You lot are coming over to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, we are in horrible form. We drew 1-1 to Nottingham Forest. We're lucky not to lose that game. It actually felt like a loss coming out of there with just a point. Yeah, we're in a bad
Forest
way.
are winning right now as well against Southampton.
Who?
Forest are beating Southampton at the moment.
Well, there you go.
Tottenham are 2 up as well.
Oh, Tottenham are winning.
First game, Harry Kane, 2 goals. Oh, okay.
Okay.
First game in 10 that they haven't conceded first.
I didn't even realize. Oh, that's probably why the numbers are shit. I didn't even realize there was games on tonight, bro.
Yeah, they're not that relevant. It's Tottenham.
Yeah, but people still watch it, though, innit?
Yeah.
But yeah, we came away lucky to get a point. Now we're facing reigning champions with yourselves. Me personally, I don't feel super confident, but there's a weird side of me, right? Naturally, as a Chelsea fan, where it wouldn't surprise me if we came away with a point against you lot. It just really wouldn't. It would be like the most Chelsea thing to do. I can't give you like evidence or any reason. I can't back it up from what I've seen from previous games. But the game of this magnitude, and then the fact that you guys are not built to just sit back and absorb and then just continually try to hit us on a counter attack, you're going to come out and play. That will work in our favor. We do prefer to play teams that are like that. When teams like to park the bus and hit us on the counter, we tend to struggle more. The creation goes out the door. Also, as well, the fact that, bro, the midfield options as well in situations like that. We're told Jorginho's this creator, he's the regista, he's the metronome. Yet we're still turning in these shitty performances, bruv. We're not creating nothing. We're just happy to play in front of the opposition's defense, and they're happy to let us do so, bruv. But that's the only area where, like, I see a bit of optimism that you lot are actually going to come and try and play. You're going to play your game. But then also with that is that there's so much deficiencies in this squad. Like, for example, Azpilicueta is likely to be the first choice right back. I'd be surprised if it's Trevor Chalobah. It makes sense. But
yeah, I mean, listen, that right there, about 15, 16 months ago, we were playing Liverpool, right? And I was down actually in Football Terrace in the studio, and someone said to me, we were about to do a preview of the Liverpool game, and someone said to me, Trent's out. And on the show, I was like, Trent's out. And at this point, Grealish had been starting all season up till that point on the left. I go, Trent's out. I go, does that mean Milner's in? And someone's like, yeah. I was like, Pep will switch Grealish and Foden will have Milner on toast. And it happened. That is what you could, the way Azpilicueta is. And firstly, he's been a great servant to your club. Yeah. But it's like one of them, for me, I look at when I see Henderson running the channels for Liverpool, I'm like, that's not where you want to see Jordan Henderson.
Absolutely.
And Azpilicueta now, like, he's always been someone that can play kind of like, part of a back three, right centre back. Yeah. That's the only place for me you could really see him now. Like, he's got no legs no more. You can't have him right back. Like,
he should have, and this is what I said in the summer. I was furious when Chelsea gave him a new contract. Again, I was giving stick. Oh, how can you say that about our captain? Listen, you see me? I'm a firm believer. Thank you for everything that you've done, but I don't want to pay no emotional or loyalty tax. I'm not with that because you suffer on the pitch.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you let one go, then it's the other one, and then the other one, and before you know it, you've got so much.
That's the one thing, thank God, we've never done. We always...
You're ruthless. You get rid when you need to get rid. And this is the thing. I know on top of that, yeah, on the flip side, what I've noticed what Man City do is that you lot sign players that you don't necessarily need immediately, but in the coming, possibly the season after that, that player ahead of him is gone. Yeah. So by the time they step in, they've already acclimatized, they're ready. So the way you do things is just it's great. I wish we did it. But as Azpilicueta, 1000%, at this point, the club they've almost ruined his legacy because it's going to get to a point where
that's the bad thing, isn't it? Like, that's when it gets to that point that, and this is something I always say with, like, Vinny. I don't want Vinny back at my club, right? Now, of course, if Vincent Kompany gets Burnley up and then keeps them up a couple of years. People are like, would you have him at City? I'm like, no. He needs to go elsewhere and prove like his caliber, because I don't want to be like Chelsea were with Lampard. I don't want to be like who was the other? There was another manager, Ollie at Man United. Vincent Kompany is my personal favourite Manchester City player of all time. I don't want to fall out. I don't want to be having to critique him because he's not good enough for the job. And at the moment, like, that's the way Asper's looking. And the worst thing is that, like, I said to Matisse the other day, when Reece James was on, you know, the game Reece James got injured.
Yeah.
That first half, when he was on the pitch, completely different team with Reece James.
Exactly.
Like, it's startling how different you are with him.
I mean, our fullbacks are essential to how we play, and whether at this stage, whether it's a back five or a back four, they're still essential to how we play.
Yeah.
Reece James is one of the best players, or for me, he's the best player at the club currently. On the other side, Ben Chilwell, he's also one of the best players at our club as well.
Yeah.
So to just miss those two's presence is just massively affected us. Like Cucurella, he struggled a bit. He ain't been terrible, but who's been great in this Chelsea squad? You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But you're coming up against us. We've got also as well a player that's often forgotten because he's so injured. He's injured all the time. N'Golo Kante is not part of the squad. Look, it leaves us with Kovacic, Jorginho, and probably Mason Mount as that.
Yeah, do you know, Kovacic is an interesting one for me as well at the moment, because for me, he's probably, when fit, over the last 18 months, Reece James, when fit, is your best player. But behind him, I'm a big fan of Kovacic, very big fan. But this season, I know he's been injured a bit, he's been in and out, but is his mind elsewhere? Is he checked out?
Kovacic.
Yeah,
with Kovacic, he's not looking to sign a new contract at Chelsea. He's looking to move on. Now, me personally, I'm not completely against that at all. I'm there's several midfielders that I want moving out, and there's several other profiles of midfielders that I want coming into Chelsea Football Club, because one thing we've struggled massively with is balance and injury-prone players.
Yeah,
and I'm tired of having players that you can't rely on for the majority of the season. And then on top of that, they're key players to your squad. Look, when you look at Chelsea, Reece James, key player, injury-prone. Kante, key player, injury-prone. Kovacic, key player, injury-prone. Thiago Silva, by the grace of God, he's 37 years old, 38 years old, but he's playing week in, week out, sometimes twice a week. Yeah, as great as it is, it's not really the best method to go with a player of that age. You want to preserve him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with Chelsea at the minute. And in terms of just coming up against you lot tomorrow, you drop 2 points. Let's have it right against Everton. You really should have come away with 3 points by your standards. Drop 2 points. You're coming into this Chelsea game knowing that potentially Arsenal could gain ground, because they don't lose against Tottenham in these derbies. They rarely do. So they know that tomorrow they've got to get the win. And that's what concerns me, because look, I always say, in terms of my midfield, the problem is the lack of athleticism, and we suffer with physicality. We're now coming up against the team in Man City who have got midfielders that are so technical that physicality doesn't even matter. It's just you guys have got the intelligence to 1-2 touch the ball, zip it around us, and then get the ball forward. And that's my huge concern. This is why it's hard for me to see light at the end of the tunnel when I look at it from that perspective. You see what I'm saying? And then what you've got up top, let me not even get started on Haaland. Anything I say at this point is been rehashed 1,000 times. We already know what this guy is. Unit, you know what I mean? He's on a mad thing. Now, on them wings, on that right side, like I said, on our right side, like I said, I'm concerned. Aspi concerns me massively. Cucurella, I think he might step up for the challenge. But it's key. For me, there's one key player that has to start this game. And I don't even think he's a world-class player or top-level player, but will give us any sort of chance in that midfield, and that's Dennis Zakaria. We need that presence. We massively need that presence.
Everyone's saying this.
Yeah, 100%. And if we're gonna be bringing, that's a topic we're gonna come on to a little later. But if we're gonna be at least bringing a player of Enzo's profile, I'm not saying it's him because now obviously things look like it's turned around, it's changed a little bit. But if we're gonna go for that profile of midfielder, we must get used to playing either a CDM or a number 6. We have to at some stage, which means for me, Jorginho's got to sit on the bench. Kovacic is the better midfielder. You play Mason Mount next to him. I'm not saying that he's had, the best of times really, but in comparison to Jorginho, a player that looks like he's about to leave, Mason Mount's still a young player. Do you know what I mean? There's still
Mount would be in for me.
Yeah, and Mount in big games as well. He does like to show up for big games. It only makes sense for me. So I'm just looking at the performance of that midfield three, and then obviously our front three as well. They've got to be clinical because games like this, chances can come few and far between.
Yeah.
You're playing against such top level quality, because if you lot go on a thing where you decide to keep possession, it might be a long day in the office.
You know what? City and Chelsea recent games. I can't remember the Carabao score. I think the Carabao score was fucking hell. Tottenham are 4-0 up now. Jesus.
Flipping now, they're on a
carry that into the Arsenal game, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, recently we've beat you 1-0 a good couple of times. It seems to be and same with reverse wise. I mean, Champions League final was a 1-0 as well. I think that was season 2 called beat us 3 times in the space of about a month. And
yeah,
they do often seem to be quite low scoring games. I don't know. You are a different team to then though. Like then in midfield wise, you were better at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, as well, we had Rudiger in the squad as well, who's
very
a
true.
massive miss as
well.
Yeah,
massive. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, Aubameyang is not doing anything at all. That might go down as one of the weirdest signings.
The only thing that I'm grateful for is that we didn't pay an astronomical sum.
Yeah, very true.
There's still some resale value for him, and even in terms of wages as well. That's why it took so long. We waited to get the best deal we possibly could in terms of paying him wages, with the thought of trying to offload him. He was never a long-term deal. It's a shame that it went the way it did, or that it's currently going the way it's going. Because listen, let's have it right. If we have a good January and we address 1-2 problems, and Aubameyang starts scoring again, all of a sudden the fan base is different. Everybody's sports is different.
Do you know what, bro? I think the key is, and someone touched on it. I don't know if you were on the show earlier or not when we were talking on this, but for me, with Arteta, I knew pretty much from the start with Arteta what he was trying to do at Arsenal. Getting rid of the players that, for me, I always used to tell my Arsenal friends about, like Ozil. I always used to say, and sorry, I've been told so many times I need to put more respect on Ozil, but I'm like, I feel Arsenal's fan base should put less respect on Ozil, because if you're talking about your last 3 generations, you've got the one now where it looks like it could be quite successful, and you've got players playing for your team. You got the Invincibles, where players were definitely playing for your team. Then you've got that middle period that for me is Arsenal's, I think for everyone is Arsenal's worst period. And I feel that whole period is defined by players like Ozil that ultimately were there because they were out of favour elsewhere and wanted a move to London, not to Arsenal, a move to London on a very good wage. And quite frankly, didn't really give a shit about winning that much. And if you look at what he won them, he won them a couple of Premier Leagues, and they want me to put loads of respect on him. When they were 2-1 up, 3-1 up, Ozil looked like a luxury player. But then when they were 1-0 or 1-0 down, Ozil was literally nowhere to be seen. And they would go, yeah, but he's a luxury player. And it's like, there ain't no room in this Premier League for anyone from Pep could be pulling up Aguero and saying, you need to track back, right? Getting rid of players like Leroy Sané because they don't track back.
They refuse to track back, yeah.
Right. But Arsenal, who at that time were probably finishing about 6th, are allowed to have luxury players. So for me, with Arsenal, I saw what he was doing. And I think with you, man, at the moment, and a very similar one in that would be Aubameyang, right? And with you lot now, I think this is what I was saying earlier on, is I think what you lot all need to see is you need to see Tuchel now show that the players that are coming in are players that are believing, and they're not coming to Chelsea for Chelsea. Because if they are coming to Chelsea for Chelsea, no problem. But that would indicate to me, right, do you know what? Maybe this man is not the right manager. Right. For him to be the right manager, he needs to be having players joining you because they've sat down, they spoke with him, and they believe in his project. And at the moment, what do you think? Do you think he's even getting that conversation with Enzo?
I think there has to be some degree of conversation involved between the player and the manager before an investment like that's going to be made. Because look, when you're talking 127 million or whatever it is that they're mentioning, bro, that it would be nonsensical for the gaffer and the player to not have a conversation to sort of gauge what his role would be in the team. Do you know what I mean? Because let's have it right. He's a player that's got the pick of the clubs as well. He doesn't have to take this move, go to Real Madrid or whatever. So he naturally is going to want to have this conversation. So I think in terms of him selling the project of Chelsea, he's having to do it bearing in mind, you know, the immediacy factor of it. It looks terrible. It's not a good look.
McAllister. But
that's summer. We'll see what happens there.
There we go. There is no way that Enzo would be joining you without asking McAllister what Potter's about.
I didn't even clock it like that. Fair point, you know. Fair point.
It wouldn't, would it?
Listen, it could be that too. It could be
100%. Look, if a club comes in for you and you want to know what the manager's about, because you know what, if Enzo Fernandez doesn't know who Graham Potter is, I ain't mad at that. Yeah, like it is what it is. Yeah, but he'd know that he used to. Someone would be like, he used to manage McAllister. McAllister will have spoken, and there will have been and if there wasn't, he will have picked up the phone and said, "What's this Graham Potter about?" And he would have found out. Oh no, you know what? Yeah. This is why I was playing for that team. This is why I was playing for a team that you, Enzo, have never heard of in Brighton. Because the manager plays a very good style of football and one that works for me. So it probably worked for you. So that would make sense.
That's a very good point. No, that's a very good point. But still, I do feel like the player and the gaffer have to sit down face to face.
100%. Yeah.
And the elephant in the room is Chelsea's current league position. How are they getting now? All of these questions have probably been asked, but he's probably said, listen, the squad that you're looking at right now is not going to be the vision next summer, right? What I can guarantee you is that we've got the pockets to invest. You can see how we're moving, first of all, by buying you. Yeah, so understand the significant investment and top quality will be brought into this squad. So he's probably looking at it as like, long-term wise, I might win some trophies here as well on top of that. So,
and that's how you get the right mentality as well, to be fair as well.
That's how you that's right.
There's players that joined us when obviously we first got money. And let me be clear, by the way, because I've just thought what I've been saying. Anyone that thinks I'm slagging off Chelsea here and saying Enzo won't know who Chelsea are, trust me, he knows who Chelsea is. Yeah, he knows Chelsea won Champions Leagues and that. It's more about the manager. But with City back then, we had people maybe didn't know who City were, to be fair, right? And we got some bad eggs, but at the same time, we did get players like Vincent Kompany, players like Nigel de Jong, players like Pablo Zabaleta that did come in and buy into a project. To be fair, you could even say David Silva and Yaya Toure because they came before we'd won any trophies as well. So, but yeah, I think, and do you know what? I think Enzo Fernandez is. I'm not even going to knock the price tag, you know, because if you want one of the best players in that position right now, he is that player, alongside a few others, and the price is what the price is, right?
Well, if we look at it this way, if Dortmund have the right to ask for 150 million euros for Jude Bellingham, and he's not even a World Cup winner, not even a league winner.
It's just spot on. TalkSport said this the other day, right? They were talking about how much Chelsea are going to pay for Enzo Fernandez. And I can't remember who it was on TalkSport, but they said, I mean, you know, he had a good World Cup and that, but is he 21?
He's 21, yeah.
He's 21. And they go, but he's only 21 and, you know, that much money, surely you'd want to put a bit more on and go and get Jude Bellingham. And I'm thinking, Jude Bellingham's younger than 21, right? And he hasn't won a World Cup, right? Why would you choose to go and spend more on Jude Bellingham over? Because he's English. What is that? Because he's English. That's why you want to do it. Look, these right now it's very clear that role is a sought after role in world football. Yeah. And
100%.
so the premium is on that role right now. Yeah. And with Enzo and with Jude, you know that you got Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Man United, Madrid.
Basically, the top clubs in Europe.
All the clubs in for him. So you know you're going to have to pay a lot of money for. And furthermore, he's a World Cup winner. So people can talk on how much you have to pay for him, but it's like when Liverpool went out and got Alisson for 70 million, 5 seasons ago, it won him a league, bro. And if you have to spend that money to get the player, like a player is only worth how much a team needs him. And if you need him that much, that's the price. If you don't, you're going to go and get someone that is not as good a caliber. So
he's one of several profiles of midfielders that we need. Definitely. I'm just going to go through some of the comments as well. You know, New York doing its thing with the sirens outside. But
is that where you are, New York? Yeah.
Yeah, New York, man. This is my 9th year. It'll be my in fact, it will be my 10th coming up this December, actually. Guni, I'm going with 3-0 City with Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, and Mahrez. Also pray for Buffalo Bills' defender Damar Hamlin, who went into cardiac arrest on Monday night after a chest collision. He's still in hospital. Yeah, apparently he's still in hospital in critical condition, man. So obviously,
after a chest collision.
I mean, I didn't see what caused it. I just, unfortunately, it was all over social media when they was trying to resuscitate him. You get me? Like, it wasn't a pretty sight. So regardless of whatever happened, we hope
100%.
Like he makes it through, man. Like, life means more than any sport, you know what I mean? Chelsea's Chelsea, anything can happen against City. True that. Guni, this Enzo deal might collapse. Yeah, we're seeing the news at the minute, but I'll give you my thoughts briefly on Enzo. I don't want to make this stream about Enzo because
because Benfica are holding out for more or something?
All right, so what we'll do is, all right, people, I'm going to go into it really briefly from what I understand and from what I've seen, right, on the socials. Everyone's got the access to it. But from what I see, apparently Rui Costa has U-turned on a payment structure, or he wants a higher fee up front and then the rest of it in installments. So basically what he's saying is pay the release clause or pay a much higher initial fee and then we'll work out the rest of the installments. And apparently Chelsea are not willing to do that. Now, personally, I'm going to keep the same stance as when everyone was saying that the deal's all but done. Is I'm just going to wait and see, because I've seen this happen several times. I've seen this happen with Kai Havertz, something similar, and then we ended up getting the player. Let's wait and see what happens. I don't believe it in its entirety. I want to see what happens over the next few days. But apparently it's a deal that gets done. Hold on. Where's this exclusive from though, KSA, man?
I love the way he's put exclusive with the...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Becoming official.
So
the thing is, though, it's early. It's very early in the transfer window. And who else is going to... It's very limited to who's going to pay that much. Because Benfica will not want to lose this deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, he might be the most he's going to be. He's just won a World Cup, right? If he has a bad couple of months, that they're going to lose a lot of money. Who else is going to come in and pay what Chelsea are going to pay?
Exactly.
Because if Liverpool are as obsessed with Jude Bellingham as everyone says they are, right? There ain't no way they're getting Jude Bellingham and Enzo Fernandez. There's not a chance in hell. Liverpool's fan base will tell you they're getting half of the best world's midfielders out there. They're not. If they manage to get one of these ones that are priced over the 100 million mark, that would surprise me, to be honest. Maybe in the summer, not in January. Not in January. No way will they get... I don't think they'll get one of Enzo or Bellingham in January. So, City aren't in for... There's no one else that's going to come in and pay what you lot are going to pay. I think you just need to give it time and accept.
Yeah,
it.
we'll
It
see,
won't
because
happen.
it's a lot of money for them to reject. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens over the next few days. So let's see what they're saying in the chat.
You got
Basically,
as
100
well. You got over a week until your next Premier League game, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be rushing no one for no FA Cup or nothing neither. So, yeah. Do hear he was in a bit of trouble because he dipped off back to Argentina for his
holiday, right?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's. Yeah, but then he must have thought, because everyone knows that he does want the move. He's come out, he's said to Benfica that he wants to move. So that might be him acting up. Although I'm not really a fan of players doing that, disrespecting their club before a move and that. I don't really like that, because if he can do it to them, then he can do it to us. If we're Real Madrid come in aggressive and try and sign him, then he might turn around and do it to us.
That's been my whole view on this whole Tielemans thing for the last however long he's been trying to push for a move. I'm like, don't like players that are pushed like Arsenal. You are welcome to Tielemans. His attitude don't seem right to me.
It's not right.
He's been twerking for a move for like 2 years now.
Just looking at the comments.
I think that's the other thing with Bernardo Silva as well, bro, at the moment, is Bernardo Silva came out, I think, after the Everton game and released a statement where he was kind of, it was still, I've never downed my tools, and, if I can stay here and challenge for more, I will, but everyone knows kind of for a while now I want to be elsewhere. And it's like, the timing of that is just shit, bro. We've just dropped points to Everton, and that comes out. And for me, this is where I'm kind of like, you know what? And I've seen quite a lot of City's fan base. We love Bernardo Silva. For me, he's possibly my favourite City player at the moment. But it is now to a point where, do you know what? Just let him go, man.
He's going to go. Let him go. Yeah,
let him go, because this is going to. And that's where I'm saying. And do you know what? We got Gundogan there for now. Maybe Grealish in that role.
And remember, you're also. I hate to say it, but you're also Man City. If he goes, you can attract somebody as.
Give some wage to go and get Bellingham even more.
Let's see. This, to be honest with you, just to end on this Enzo thing, I'm tired of hearing this.
Yeah, I can see your energy's just gone from this Enzo.
I'm tired of it, bro. Just tired of reading about it. For me, I'm at a point where it's just like, do you know what? If he comes, we'll see a picture of him with Todd Bowley and the name at the back of a Chelsea shirt. Yeah. Until then, I'm not interested. But just to go back to the game tomorrow, I just wanted to get some predictions from you. I want to start off with you first. What do you reckon the result's going to be tomorrow? And if you like, you can give us some goal scorers as well.
See, do you know what, right? So just to give you last season, I was known for not giving predictions. Like, even on Big Six, when Turkish would ask me for predictions, I'd be like, bro.
You don't give them.
I'd be like, bro, listen, yeah? And he'd be like, you can't come on here. And I'm like, listen, if you're never going to have me back, no problem, bro. But listen, at that point, we were in a title race. I was like, I have superstitions. And for that reason, respectfully, I'm not giving no prediction. Now, all season, I've been doing predictions, right?
Okay.
But the show that you left earlier on, when I got asked by Cass, I was like, bro, it's getting serious now. This Arsenal team are pissing me off. I can't do predictions. You can have one in the FA Cup. I'll give you one for Sunday in the FA Cup, bro. That's the FA Cup. I ain't mad at that.
We're playing twice. You just reminded me that we
play you Sunday.
Wow.
But in the league, I can't do it no more until we start getting some form back. The one thing I will say is we have been better on the road than we have been at home, right? And our recent form against Chelsea has been good. But I'm too superstitious. I can't do league. In the cup, I think we'll beat you. I think on Sunday we'll beat you in the cup 3-1.
Oh, that's the one I don't want to lose as well, because if there's one thing I want Chelsea to at least try and do if we're gonna just be shit in the league, is shit out the trophy. Do you know what I mean?
That's bro. The one thing I've said, is, and I actually say it about all the teams in the Champions League, but you, man, in particular, like, you can never rule out Chelsea from me anymore in the Champions League. Same as I always say it about Liverpool, because you, man, have done it, right? And in that, like, I was at the Bernabeu, bro. I thought we was going to smack up Real Madrid. I thought we were going through. Me and Steve were looking at fucking Turkey, looking at flights, everything, And then all of a sudden, I felt what heritage is like when their man got one goal, that was it. And it's the same with you lot. Like, and the other thing I was saying to someone is when you look at Thiago Silva, maybe now with everything he's done in his career, right now in the league, he could be a bit like, what am I playing for? I'm an old man. What am I playing for in the league? In the Champions League, he'll still be like, no, we can win this. And you are a team that you could still go on the same way. I know Tottenham have been, coming from behind a lot, right? But that worries me, even with them, that I don't want to play Tottenham in the Champions League, right? I don't think they can win it because I think their manager and ultimately their team are bottle jobs, especially in Cup. But you, man, all English teams could go on a run in the Champions League, and you and Liverpool in particular, because if you're floating around 7th, 8th, 9th,
but all the eggs in that basket. But this is my thing. This is my thing as well. The only way Chelsea can even think about doing that is Reece James coming back before February, and we keep him fit.
You don't want to rush him back though.
I know. N'Golo Kante, but we got Dortmund, and the way we are without him, I'm worried. N'Golo Kante coming back and staying fit as well.
Yeah,
those two were going to be, because N'Golo was key to our Champions League run.
Most other players you're going to be in for a cup tie probably as well.
Yep, Reece James is key to how we play now, and also as well, Ben Chilwell needs to come back and stay fit.
Yeah, he's a big miss, man. I think he's one of the best left backs in the league.
Those are the three players Chelsea need to convince me that we can go on any sort of against the grain.
But then you don't want to rush Reece James back for shit, man. You really can't rush him back now.
Reece, absolutely not. And this is why I hope we use January to,
get a replacement,
get a right back. Yeah. And, some people are talking about, well, we should get a right back. And even I was of this opinion, actually. I'm not going to exclude myself of, we should get one that's not quite as good as Reece James, but happy to sit on the bench. But after this injury, I'm starting to think we might have to buy a top quality right back, because Reece James's record so far has proved that he's injury prone. You could not rely on him.
You can't. You know what it is as well. If you rush him back right now, because I don't know if it was when I was watching your show the other day, it was another one, but I had a thought in my head, and then someone mentioned how Reece James is quite an athletic build. Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he is.
Right, and I've been thinking about a certain player in my head, right, who was a right back who ended his career early doors, who was also very athletic. Michael Richards. Right, these English players that are quite muscly up top, quite big up top. Right, if you imagine to play the fullback role, you are up and down that pitch more than anyone. Right?
Yeah, you need the most fitness on the pitch in that position.
And the other thing is, bro, if you imagine the type of running at times it is, it's digging in. It's really now if you are top heavy and you are putting a lot of impact on your knees constantly,
and your ankles,
Bro, and your ankles, and I just thought, you know what, it would be so, because the one player I would take from you, man, all day, every day is Reece James, but the injuries are coming on top. And then you see what his fitness coach tweeted. It does look like he was rushed back. You might have to wrap him in cotton wool and just...
that's the problem with Chelsea, is that we always fail to prepare, because look, I said in the summer, Reece James, we need to relieve the pressure off this player before he has so many injuries that he cuts his career short, or the quality just starts to disappear. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, we didn't end up signing another one. We need to sign somebody to relieve the pressure off this player. We've seen this happen to N'Golo Kante before, which is why he's in the situation he's in. Over-reliance on this player. Kovacic as well. Over-reliance on that player as well. And even though at Real Madrid he didn't have the best injury record, we still decided to over-rely on him, rush these players back from injuries.
Yeah.
And then look what happens. They can't play for a major part of the season, or they come back. It's a stop-start thing. It's not even worth it no more. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm at a point where we just need a whole revamp. We need to get that all out. But the way I feel about tomorrow, just to sum up real quick, because I do have to run people. 140 people in the building, much better than the 3 that we had earlier. So big up all the people that are just joining in. Smash the like button as well. Let's try and get to at least 75 likes. That's not asking too much. Do you know what I mean? I should ask for 100, but 75, that's calm. Do you know what I mean? I'll be happy with that. I'll allow you lot. But yeah, in terms of this whole Enzo deal as well, people, we're just gonna have to wait and see. It's a long month. We're in the 4th of January. Transfer window closes in 27 days. And you know, if Benfica sell in the summer, they'll get nowhere near as much as they get in January. So let's see. There's a lot of time for them to think about. But if this is true, Fabrizio Romano just reported we're only offering 70 to 80 million euros for Enzo. Deal collapsing. Let's see.
Well, Fabrizio is in the pocket of so many agents. I think he's tweeting that just to get other teams involved and whatever else.
Let's see. Yeah, that's all you can say about this whole transfer window. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Daps, what have you got coming up on your platform, or what have you already got up?
So we've got a show now. Go and check out Never a Foul, people. Please, anyone watching this, go and subscribe to Never a Foul now. Just cleared 6K. We have a show from earlier with Guni on, Matisse on, Eunice on, and then myself and Big Steve. Tomorrow, I think so. Tomorrow, I'm down at DR Media for DR Sports. Sorry, for the Chelsea game, for the watch along. I think Cass is running a members call in at 10 p.m. So yeah, 10 p.m. call in show, and then we do shows daily, 1 or 2 shows a day, just like yourselves, man. Not just covering Man City. Obviously, Cass is Man United, and we get guests on from all the other panel, all the other teams. So yeah, get over there, show some love, and most importantly, smash a like on this video, and also go back and on Guni's last 5 videos, just a quick like as well, because that will help the algorithms that we need to pick back up after that World Cup and your health.
Nah, man, I appreciate that, man. And people, you already know where to find him. His name is actually the YouTube channel Never a Foul is in the description. I've tagged it in there, so you lot can just click on that straight away and go and subscribe. I'm telling you, people, very good quality content and a good set of lads over there as well, man. Very, very good people. And I feel, and that's it, really, innit? I've worked with everybody there now. Now I've, collab with you.
Yeah, well, there's Ty as well. Hold tight, Ty.
We've got to get him on. Yeah, that means we've got to get him on, man. We've got to get the whole
Man United. He's Man United as well.
Yep.
You know what it is, bro? There's a lot of United over here, and then our graphic designer Soups, who also is behind the scenes at the channel, he's United as well, bro. It's all United over here.
Yeah, just obviously out of respect to the platform, I've got to have everybody from there on, man. You know what I'm saying? So I like you guys. I like working with you lot. So people, definitely you're going to see a lot of work between us, my platform, their platform as well. So definitely stay subscribed there. As for me, tomorrow, 2 videos I'm looking to do. I know I've said this 100 times, but I promise the right back video will be out. We'll be looking at different right back options or alternatives to Reece James, and some that might be happy to stay on the bench for a bit, but can be relied upon when called on. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to do a video there, and obviously the post-match for the Man City and Chelsea game. Hopefully I'm in a good mood for that, man. But based on previous form,
to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Well, based on previous form, I highly doubt it, bruv. I think fortune is on your side tomorrow. Well, nothing lucky about it. Do you know what I mean? You guys are prepared. You guys got the right manager. I got the right balance in your team compared to us. So let's see what happens, people. Let's see what happens, man. But people, stay safe, man. Bless up.
Salute.